Susie couldn't tell how she survived that day. But being back home was a blessing. She was very fortunate to get away from Mrs. Laura's pistol. Days passed, Helen wasn't found yet. It made no sense to Susie how someone could just vanish from the surface of the earth like that. If she was dead, they would have shown her body. Right? Why keep her corpse? Helen's mother's sobs didn't stop. It just couldn't, no matter how much Susie's mom tried to comfort her. Helen was her only child. Undoubtedly, this kind of loss was enough to send any mother derail. Susie thought she was strong not to consider this loss, until a heavy darkness clouded her. She found herself crying to sleep as she got slowly depressed. Helen was the only friend she had and trusted. What justified her disappearance like that? How was that fair? She was trying to protect her. 5 months later, as she tried to get herself together, distracting herself with music, the doorbell rang. She hurried to answer it and caught sight of Mrs. Laura staring at her with a smirk. "Hello, Susie. Long time no see." Susie hated her sight to the core. "What do you want?" "I heard my son found a liking in you." "No, he did not. All he did was watch Helen die before his eyes. I am not here to have small talks with you. I believe you have something that belongs to me." "What do you mean?" "I do not have anything that belongs to you." "How would you know? You are just a child graduating later this year. You won't understand. I didn't take anything from your apartment when I came to your house 5 months ago. I am not a thief like you. You snatch people's souls from them," Mrs. Laura scoffed. "You will soon know who the thief is here. Let reality dawn on you. You will understand." Susie was speechless. None of this made sense to her. Perhaps Wilbert's family had gone mad. Shortly after his mother's visit, Susie noticed some black cars packed before her home. They followed her wherever she went. And if there weren't black cars, there was a huge guy in a suit stalking her with a gun. This was the worst kind of discomfort ever, being imprisoned in a situation she doesn't understand. What the hell does the Wilbert family want from her? She thought so hard of what to do and gasped at the thought of someone. Gilbert. He was a freshman in college who enjoyed investigating mafias. Since his father was a detective, that wouldn't be a problem for him. She grinned happily and hurried to visit him. Arriving to his home, his mother shook her head at her sight. "Gilbert hasn't spoken about you for years. He still wishes you dead." "It's been 6 years." Susie was horrified. "I am sorry, dear." Susie arrived at Gilbert's study room, which had a conspiracy board and some old newspapers and photos pinned to it. She stared at his back and turned towards her before clearing her throat. I come in peace." She tried faking a smile. "You left my dog to run into the road and get hit by a bus." He eventually turned to her. "Do you know how hurtful that is?" "I should have watched him better." Her voice mellowed. "I am sorry. And I won't be tired of apologizing to you." Gilbert sighed and turned to her. "What do you want?" "The Lauras keep stalking me. I do not know what I have done to them. They keep telling me that I have something that belongs to them. I do not know what it is." "A baby," he explained. Her heartbeat dropped at the hearing of that. "What?" For every generation, the Lauras are known for sacrificing their first son's child when either of the parents clocks 60. It's possible either his mother or father recently turned 60. They probably did something to get you pregnant. When your child is born, they take the child from you to strengthen their mafia, cult, or whatever. Susie's ears weren't hearing right. "You do not know what you are saying?" She laughed it off. "You asked for information and I told you, Susie. Do with the information what you will." Gilbert shrugged nonchalantly. "It's almost 6 months, Gilbert." Susie argued. "Do I look pregnant to you?" "I might not remember what happened that night, but all I know is that they didn't work. I am totally healthy and get my flow as usual. I am not pregnant." Gilbert nodded, staring at her evidently flat stomach. "You are right, but you need to be careful. Those people are crazy. There is nothing for me to fear. I do not have anything that belongs to them. They are just wasting their time." Something is going on in her school.